Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lego Rebel.
And I'm Roger.
And this is my assistant Roger. And there is also Vic, who is currently manning the camera.
Hi.
Now in today's episode, we are going to show you this custom Revenge of the Sith diorama. Now, for those of you who don't know, this year is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, which is like, how has that movie been out for 20 years? But also, I wanted to do something to celebrate the occasion, like I did last year with the Phantom Menace and my Phantom Menace habitat. Now, I already did a habitat build based off of Revenge of the Sith, but then I thought, what if I make a diorama of one of the most iconic scenes from the movie?
Obi-Wan saying hello there to General Grievous?
What? No, not that popular scene.
Is it Palpatine beating up all the Jedi?
No, you know what the scene is. It's literally behind me. It's Anakin battling Obi-Wan. Anyway, so I guess without further ado, we shall show you the minifigures. Now, the first minifigure in today's lineup is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, this is the version from the more recent Duel on Mustafar Lego set, if I believe. I got him off Bricklink for relatively cheapish, and he does have some burned up-ish printing on his clothes, probably because he was fighting on a lava planet. And I decided to give him the face print where he's scared, or at least worried, because he's fighting his old apprentice. And other than that, there's not much I have to say about him. If you want to hear a more detailed description about him, I guess you can go watch my Revenge of the Sith habitat build if you feel so inclined, but only if you feel that inclined, I guess. But overall, he is a pretty good minifigure, and he does fit better in this scene than the next minifigure. So, come on, let's go on to that one now, I guess. As Past Me was just saying, or technically Past Me, time is weird, the next minifigure is Anakin. Except it's not the Duel on Mustafar version, instead it's his Starfighter pilot version. Now listen, I have said it once and I will say it again, that minifigure is stupidly expensive, at least for me, and I'm not going to spend that much on one single minifigure for, I guess, technically 2 mocks since I stole these from the habitat build I made, but still, I am not going to be buying that minifigure unless they mark it down, and it's probably skyrocketed on Bricklink now since it's the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Well, anyway, I decided to at least turn it to his angry face because he's angry. Because, well, I guess he doesn't know Padme's dead yet, but still. He's angry now that he's a Sith apprentice guy. And if you're wondering why he still has his blue lightsaber, well, that's because he didn't bleed his kyber crystal at this point. In fact, he only even gets a red kyber crystal after the events of the movie, and there's a whole thing. But overall, I feel like he is a pretty good minifigure if you look at him from the back, and not the front. But still. So I guess now on to the build. Quick intermission me here. Now I know I said it was on to the build, but I just had to say this real quick. I just want to say thank you to every single one of you who has subscribed and watched my videos. Seriously, you have no idea how much this means to me. And last time I looked at how many subscribers I had, it was at 102. How? I was thinking about making a 100 subscriber special, like once I got to 100 subscribers, which I thought would be months from now, but how? Like last year, I barely had 30 subscribers. How did I get this many? But honestly, y'all are way too good for me. My videos, I admit, aren't the best, but still, that many of you have subscribed. And to me, that feels like 1,000,000 subscribers, which I know is mathematically inaccurate in every conceivable way possible, but still, that's how much it feels to me. And honestly, I'm just a kid who likes building with Lego and then editing and making videos about it so I can show my builds to you guys. But I just wanted to say thank you to every single one of you who watches my videos, and thank you to all 102 of you who have subscribed. I still can't believe it. And I was thinking about maybe doing a 50 subscriber special, but I couldn't because when I looked at it, I was past 50 subscribers. But I just wanted to say thank you all of you. And I guess with this, back to the actual part of the video that you wanted to watch, I guess. Now onto the actual build. Now for this build, I wanted it to be similar to the actual diorama sets that Lego has produced, but I also wanted it to have a bit of a flair, you know? So I thought, what if I had some of the lava spilling out of the base to try and make it look a bit more alive? And also it just looks really cool. Now I used a bunch of different types of slopes and snot, for those who don't know, studs not on top techniques, to kind of get the flow of the lava to look natural. Well, at least as natural as a bunch of little plastic blocks can look, if you know. And since without the transparent orange pieces, it looked like a bunch of orange paint was just plopped onto a black base with a couple of other details, I decided to add a couple of transparent orange pieces such as slopes and studs, as well as fire pieces, to really encapsulate that lava feeling, you know? And I also gave Obi-Wan the high ground because of course it has to have the high ground. That's how he beats Anakin. And while I know the high ground he was on was more of like a shoreline in the movie and less of one rock in the middle of some lava, I still wanted to add just a smaller piece of landscape to kind of make the lava the central focus, as well as Obi-Wan and Anakin's battle, the other central focus. Here's what it looks like from this side, and you can see some more of the slope pieces I decided to add. Now I will admit I did use a more flat, like blocky piece to show some of the flowing lava. I do admit that looks a bit too Minecraft-ish, but I still feel like it does get the job done. And if you're wondering why I used some action figure posing pieces to hold up Anakin's little floating platform thingy instead of like a cylindrical tube, I thought it would be cool and less noticeable than a tube. Also, I didn't want to have to bother finding a tube since for some reason it's hard for me to find transparent, pure clear ones. I have no idea why. And then there's the back of the build, and you can see some of the other and final slopes I decided to add. I do admit they're shorter than the other ones, but that's just because of the snot techniques and other techniques that I use. It's kind of just like a side effect of it. And you can also see Anakin's very non-Sith looking face and just a very angry looking Star Pilot face. Yeah, like I said earlier, the Revenge of the Sith Anakin is too expensive in my opinion on Bricklink, and I wasn't gonna waste money on it. So I just decided to go with the second best option. And if you're wondering why there's a couple studs on the side of the rim of the base, I couldn't exactly find any 1x2 black tiles, so I went with 1x2 black jumper tiles. I know it doesn't look the best, but still, it does give off a clean enough look for my taste. And here is the final, less lava flowy side. And yes, I just said EE twice. I have no idea why. And you can also kind of see some of the more unique orange slopes I decided to use. I'm not exactly sure where they're from, though I'm like 50% sure they were on a Lego City airplane piece. You probably got a better look at them in the front, but still. And this is what the top side view looks like if you're looking directly down at it, and you can probably see easier the details I decided to add onto the lava, as well as the fact that Lego Fire definitely looks weird when you look at it from directly down on top of it. And you can also kind of see right there that it's down a stud. And that was just so this would fit perfectly with this bit. It just helped this look more smoother, you know? And plus, whoever said that lava was perfectly smooth? At least I don't think it's smooth. Excuse the background noise, that's my cat again. I guess she wants to go to bed. But as I was saying, I'm not that familiar with lava science or rocket science. I just know how to classify different animals and how to play okay-ish on the piano. And also how to build okay in Lego, so yeah, you know. And overall, I really am happy with how I was able to make this build. Well, that's the build.
Please consider to like and subscribe.
And until next time, peace out.